I think that most of us are using the internet in a sort of autopilot, passive mode. What I mean by that is that we aren't really consciously using the internet. On the contrary, maybe the internet is actually using us. Sometimes this becomes very apparent. For example, when we find ourselves scrolling through our Facebook feed, suddenly realizing that we have no fucking idea why we went on Facebook in the first place. Or on a broader scale, when we realize that we've lived in an online bubble and that the internet influenced our elections.
Donald Trump wins the presidency of the United States.
What? So on a daily basis, I feel like we aren't really consciously aware or mindful of the internet and its influence. However, when we stand in front of a breathtaking old cathedral or a palace, we get this feeling of awe, this feeling of reverence, of appreciation, of astonishment. Why don't we get that when we think about the internet or when we use the internet? The fact that the internet is the largest community in the history of the world, connecting 3.7 billion people, about half of all of humanity living today. And it's only been created in the last 9,000 days. Why isn't that invigorating constant awe in us? I mean, when you think about it, right now, here on YouTube and also other social media, you can watch daily vlogs, live streams, and today's stories from people all over the world. You can get a glimpse of daily life of a person living in Tokyo, in Nigeria, Sao Paulo, in New York, or Hawaii. You can basically change your worldview with a few clicks. And not only that, you can also share your own worldview, your own ideas, your work with everyone else. You can create something for a potential audience of 3.7 billion people at the expense of your free time, of going drinking with your buddies, of binge-watching Game of Thrones, nothing more. Why isn't this easy opportunity exciting and inspiring us, making us wanting to create, to share and collaborate? Maybe it's because the internet is invisible or too subtle, contrary to the tangible and visible, stunning cathedral. Maybe it's because it moves so quickly from disruption to expectation, from extraordinary to normal. Or is it because the internet is just too complex and too overwhelming? I mean, I get it. The internet feels saturated with millions of apps, all sorts of platforms, services, devices, and more than enough content to keep us glued to our screens for the next million years. But here's the thing, as technology expert Kevin Kelly says. In terms of the internet, nothing has happened yet. The internet is still at the beginning of its beginning. It is only becoming. So maybe the analogy with the cathedral was wrong. Maybe we should see the internet more as a huge auditorium that brings us all together, and that enables us all to become the architects, the builders, and the users of the cathedral. The building blocks, in any case, are all getting even more exciting. Another 1 to 3 billion minds from all sorts of cultures will come online by 2020. They could be your audience, your collaborators, your influencers. And then there are more and more objects with sensors becoming internet connected. And advancements in artificial intelligence mean that the internet is increasingly able to better understand and make sense of the world. It's as if the internet is still a baby, just about to learn connecting with all its surroundings, to learn processing information from its environment and being able to speak, reason, and understand by itself. The truth is, there's never been a better day in the history of the world to create something. There's never been a better time with more opportunities, lower barriers, better returns, greater upside than now. So, I think it's about time to wake up. It's about time to stop this autopilot mode, this passive, hypnotic use of the internet. It's about time to regain control and agency and to harness the possibilities of this magnificent tool. But how do we do that? I think this actually requires something counterintuitive. I think in order to use the internet more mindfully, more actively, and more beneficially, we actually need to step back and switch off from the internet. Because it is only when we lose and miss it that the always present, invisible, and subtle internet suddenly becomes visible and apparent. When we don't use the internet and restrict ourselves from using it, we realize how much it influences us, how much it uses us, instead of us using it.